teacher and student handbook in there. Ms. Smith and the committee decided we'll do it this way. That way when we have updates, all we gotta do is pull them out, give them to y'all, and y'all insert them. Instead of trying to bind them and all that kind of stuff. Sir? Yeah, we just left it in case it comes back. I know we can't do it. I know we can't do it. We'll take it. But that's what we're going to do with the teacher handbooks.
So keep it, don't throw it away. You won't get another one next year except for little inserts and all.
So we'll do the inserts instead of reprinting. Ms. Mays, come on down here, Ms. Mays. All right, this is Ms. Pamela Mays. Ms. Mays will be joining us this year. You know, we told you Ms. Duckworth had left, so Ms. Pinkston went to the front, and Ms. Mays is going to be in ISS for us. This is Ms. Pamela Mays. We have to have her. She wasn't here this morning because I hadn't had her approved yet. So if y'all see me duck out, that's what me and Doc was doing. She was going to approve her. So she approved her, and we brought her in this afternoon. So let's welcome Ms. Mays. All right, go ahead and say something. All right, the attendance, 15% of the attendance thing changed. It was six days. Now it's 15% of the total days that students are in school. But we just did 10. That makes it easier. So that's our attendance. Remember it was 6. Now it's back up to 6. All right, the student signs out 5 minutes before class is over. It's counted as an unexcused absence for that class period. We want them to be in class. With the attendance, we talked about the 3 days of unexcused. We will meet with the parent. The AST committee is basically, we didn't bother y'all with that. That's the administration. And we handle that during the conference with the parents. And then students, classes will have more than 10 unexcused absences for that class. You know, we did away with attendance recovery and attendance appeal, but we left it in there just in case it ever comes back. We don't have to be saying, how did that work? So we left it in there. But, you know, we did away with attendance recovery and attendance appeal. And it worked, it worked pretty good. All right. All right, well, let's talk about the bullying policy. I do need to make sure that everybody's aware. Okay, thank you. All right, this is hard. I need to make sure that we all are aware in case you're ever questioned about how we handle bullying. Okay, we handle bullying. We have what we call a bullying task force. And a bullying task force consists of the administration, the counselors, and the resource officers. Now, we, as administrators, when we get a report of bullying, we investigate everything. We investigate everything. Now, most of the time, it's not bullying, it's just them having a conflict. But we go through the process of investigating the whole process. We don't just, oh, well, somebody's picking on me, and we just say, well, you're going to, you know, if they bother you again, you come tell us. If we get a complaint, we do a full investigation. And then we have our form, we have our bullying form, and then we have our bullying chart, which we pull right off the DOE website, that we use that chart to take any subjectivity out of it. And if that chart will indicate whether it's bullying or whether it's not. And then we track it in the discipline office. I wish, I'll give it so we can show you the folder. We have we have the students' names. And if we ever get questioned, we can pull that folder. We can show every investigation that we've done. So if anybody asks you, what do you do what do y'all do for bullying? If it's reported, we investigate it. And then we have an investigation form that we fill out throughout the investigation. We take all the statements or whatever, we staple it to that investigative form. If it is bullying, we notify the parents. We still notify the parents, and we tell them they were just having, either they were bullying or they were just having a conflict. Most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, it's two students having a conflict. One is giving it just as much as they're receiving it. But we find that out through the investigation. We go over that with the parent, and we pull evidence to show both sides. Now, sometimes we've had cases. I remember a case where the young lady was very, very clever. And what she would do is she was bullying these two sisters. But what she would do is she would bully the girls, run home and tell her parents that they were messing with her. So the parents was coming up here asking me, what am I going to do about these two sisters bullying their child? But then the parent of the two sisters were also coming in there registering a complaint about the young lady. So what we have to do there is we have to constantly monitor that situation. And it's a constant monitoring of the situation. We look at the schedules, we try to separate them. Whoever schedule favors the changing. We change classes, we even go as far as to change lunches and things like that, and we constantly monitor the situation. Well, the one young lady who was really messing with the two sisters, she forgot that there was a camera in the chorus room. And she was in the chorus room, and the little girl was standing there minding her own business. She takes a chair and just rams it right into the back of her legs. Oops, we got it on video. So once we get it on video, then we can call the mother in and we show her. And what she was doing is she was picking on the two girls, and like I said, running home telling her mother, manipulating her parents, and they were thinking the girl was picking on her. So I show them the video. Mother looks at the little girl and says, "You gonna get it." And I said, "Okay." So then the mother said, "Well, can I talk to her for a minute in private?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." So I get up and I go outside in the hallway because Mom was going to talk to her in private. Next thing I hear is, I said, "Oh, Lord, Mama done pulled out a belt." Mama done pulled out a belt because it was embarrassing. Because they were really giving me a hard time, talking about these girls were picking on her, but in fact, their daughter was the aggressor. And I disciplined her. I disciplined her pretty good. And it was embarrassing. And her mama put out, you can't do that in here. Now you can take her across the street. You won't, but you can't do that in here. But she did. She started whooping the girl, and the girl was a junior. She's gone now. The girl was a junior. I'm gonna pull that bed out. But if anybody asks about bullying, that's what we do. And I'm going to get the folder so y'all can see what a thorough job is done. That's something we take very, very, very seriously. And what brought that on, I don't know if I told you all, but what brought that on is a couple of years ago, an investigator came and a young man they had found a note at home, and he had wrote a note about committing suicide. And in that note, he said that he had talked to the counselors, he had talked to the principals, he had talked to the assistant principals, and nobody had done anything. Well, throughout the investigation, he hadn't talked to anybody. I certainly didn't talk to me, didn't talk to the counselors, hadn't spoken to any of the assistant principals. But what that did for me, I was like, okay, now what if he had carried it out and all they had to go on was that note? I wasn't real sure if we had a policy in place that could explain the step for step that we do. So that's when we started the task force and being able to explain it. Because if anybody comes in here, we can show the way that we handle bullying. And you know, we say the thing every morning. You know, if you have a problem, situation, or conflict, we say that every morning. And then we also say, if you are being bullied or know someone that's being bullied, you know, please, anybody get reported, please let someone know. We say that every morning, and that's part of our thing to handle bullying. And we post it all over school. So we have a bullying statement that we read every morning, and then we investigate every claim. And then we identify whether it was a conflict or whether it was bullying, and if it was bullying, then we discipline it as necessary. So if anybody asks you, we do have a bullying. Now, where the bullying task force comes in is if, in case there is a situation where we need to talk about it or something, then we call the task force together. But most of the time, administrators handle it, and if we need to get our resource officers involved, then we do. Okay, so we just don't tolerate it. We're not going to tolerate it. And then as teachers, we can't be teacher bullies either. You know, we can't as adults. We can't be bullying kids and talking to them any kind of way and thinking because I'm a teacher, I can just treat them and they're kids and they're going to take it. I'm here to tell you, these kids they're not going to take it. Okay, so just make sure that, I heard some older things say respect is earned, and it is, it's earned. So you want kids to respect us, we got to build a relationship with them. We got to show them that we're here with their best interests at heart. We got to watch how we talk to them. You just talk to them when they're young adults. You talk to them like you want somebody to talk to you. And you talk to them like you want somebody to speak to your child. All right. Well, that's Baby Club. Talking about their meetings. Oh, one thing we have to come up with, if you have a club that requires a stole or a sash or whatever, and it's not spelled out in your bylaws, like how many years they need to be a part of it, you need to be thinking, like I know Flair is cut and dry who gets a rope for y'all, right? And I know the blood drive is cut and dry, but it's some of y'all who have things that is up to the school. And I think the Baby Club is one of them. So we need to determine what's the qualification for somebody to get a rope and a sash, because they will, we got called on that. We got stuck in the gray area last year. All right, you keep going. That's just the definition of FFA. It's just some more information. Keep going. All right, we don't have a math team sponsor. We need a math team sponsor, whatever a math team does. I hope some of y'all know, but we need to get the math team going.
She replaced Roy Jackson.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's the youth. Okay, that's the Yale Club. What's that? Okay, that's the Yale Club. Okay. All right, that's still a 10. We good. That's the queen. That's qualifications for club queen. Make
Hey,
sure
no,
y'all.
right.
Ma'am?
I just want to go back over that food thing.
Okay.
Was that food up there, or was that the Libras? Maybe I didn't see
The
food.
consent.
Concessions, look at maybe
Oh, yeah. If y'all having those little, like some type of class celebration, please let us know in the front office. Because parents come up there with all kind of stuff and we don't know anything about it, so we turn them around. So if y'all having something, just let us know that you having something. I know, I think Dan's had something, the kids did well on something, she had a little something for them. Y'all just have to let us know. And remember, anything that we do, it has to be, it can't be home items. It has to be some type of store-bought. All right? Because people put stuff in things. And people are allergic to things. And last year, you had a student made, it wasn't with us, but it was on the news, student made brownies with marijuana in it. You know, so that's the reason, that's one of the reasons why this is in place. Because if it's store-bought and it got marijuana in it, then we can go to Harvey's or wherever they bought it from, and then it's their problem. That's why we don't allow any homemade stuff. Because people can be mad at somebody and, you know, we just don't, and when you're talking about ingesting something, that's when it gets pretty bad. So please, no homemade stuff. You gotta be store-bought. Yeah. All right. And just let us know. And we don't allow any outside food or drink. I had an administrator from another school, when she saw no outside food and drink, she thought that we were just trying to get the profit from the snack machines. You just trying to get the profit from the snack machines. What they don't realize is outside food and drink, students put stuff in them. And I lead through my experiences. Okay, that's where a lot of my leadership stuff comes from. I remember I was assistant principal, a young man brought a Powerade to school, and it was the wrong color. I was like, ain't no Powerade look like that. And he done mixed it with alcohol. And it was supposed to be in green, and that's something like brown and green or something like that. But that's what they'll do. They'll bring stuff and they'll put stuff in it. That's why we do that. Ain't got nothing to do with concession stands. And then here I'm stuck with trying to explain how we got liquor and kids getting, and then they share it. Then they'll share it. Then you got kids walking around here intoxicated. So that's why we do that. No outside food and drinks. So they put stuff in. All right, go ahead. All right, we just cleaned up the exemption policy because it was just a little confusing, so we just put the steps in there. So we just cleaned that up. So hopefully it'll be a little more explained a little bit better. All right, so I know y'all will go over all this with your kids. All right, first aid, all medication, prescription and non-prescription needs to be left in the front office. Students should not have any medication in their possession. Teacher will not give students any medication. Okay? I know a couple years ago we had a young lady had a headache, and another young lady had some ibuprofen or something, because she was, having her cycle, so she had her, and then she gonna give to a classmate because she had a headache. And then the girl started not feeling well. It was over the counter prescription, but it was something in there that didn't sit well with the young lady who she had given it to. So that's why we ask any aspirin, anything, they need to take it to the front office, and then if we need to administer it, they give us a doctor's note saying that we need to administer it.
Dr. Gray, on that, we